why do you still have long hair?
Carolyn, why do you let Sadie run
Why are you wearing that jacket? Carolyn, shouldn't you go that way?
Why is your RV?
You wouldn't believe some of the things people ask me. I get thousands, maybe tens of thousands of questions on my videos every year. Some of them just like have me like scratching my head, honestly. But the same questions keep coming up on my videos over and over again. And especially this year, I had some different questions. So today, in my last video of 2024, I'm going to answer the top 10 questions you all asked me the most in 2024. So, you know what? I think what I'll do is I think I'll also pop up some of the other questions I get, just so that you can kind of get an idea of what it's like to be a YouTuber.
There ain't nobody gonna do it for you. Got to find your own.
All right, these questions are in no particular order. So I'm just going to go in random order of the questions I got asked the most in 2024 on my YouTube channel. And number one is, what breed is Sadie? Sadie is mostly Border Collie, and she's also got some other breeds in her. She's like 54% Border Collie and 9 other things, and the highest one is like 14%. You know what? I'll put the screenshot right here. She's got Bull Mastiff, she's got Pit Bull, she's got Boxer, she's got a little tiny bit of McNab. She's got a bunch of stuff in her. So that's one of your questions. Sadie is mostly Border Collie. Question number 2 is, where is my favorite boondocking spot? I don't really have a favorite boondocking spot. Well, actually, I might have a couple. There was one in California, my first couple of years on the road. I loved going back. It was near Bishop on the 395 corridor of the Eastern Sierras. I loved going there, but I haven't been there in years. The second one that comes to mind was a spot in Colorado that I spent a couple years at, maybe. I went back and forth, went there a couple years. And I went back there this past year coming back, and it's not my favorite spot anymore because somebody put it on iOverlander. It was a beautiful, quiet, remote spot. When I was out there several summers ago, there was no traffic, nobody camped near me. I probably spent 2 weeks out there. Totally different story this time. I had campers near me almost the entire time I was there. Somebody drove their horse trailer right in and parked right in my camp. Totally different story. So I don't really have any favorite boondocking spots. A lot of them are getting ruined because people are putting them on apps. So yeah, I mean, I have a bunch of spots I love all over the country. You know, and I am getting to the point in my RV life where I do like going back to spots that I know, partly just because I know a lot of spots everywhere now. But as far as favorites, I don't know that I really have any at this point. The third question you guys have asked me the most in 2024 is, are you coming to my state? Are you coming to New Jersey? When are you going to Washington? Why do you spend so much time in the desert? Are you coming to Oklahoma? Are you coming to Arkansas? So that's the next question. Everybody wants to know when I'm coming to their state or when I'm coming to their area. I have been to every state. Almost every state, I think, except Rhode Island, I think I decided, or something like that. I have been to every state. If you want to see my videos of those states, just do a search on my channel. Just go to my homepage, hit the little circle, enter your search term, Alabama, Oklahoma, Washington, and you'll see the videos that I made of those states. So I don't really plan anything. I am going cross country every year now to see my mom. But I never know really where I'm going to go. I never really plan anything. And then a follow-up question to that is, when you're here, let me know. I would love to get together with you. That's not something I do. So I know a lot of people, I get thousands of comments all the time. I wish I'd known you were here. I would have loved to see you. I would love to buy you dinner. That's just not something I do. As an introvert, meeting strangers, and I know I don't feel like a stranger to you, but I don't know you. You know, there's a few people that I've gotten to know over the years. The more you comment, the more active you are in the community, the more I get to know you. I mean, I've met Sarah and Aaron and Ralph and Edie and Cindy and Richard Thomas, I made a trip up to Vermont, and well, actually, I was in New Hampshire. He made the trip out to see me. So if I get to know you through comments, Lola is someone I have met, and I would, love to cross paths with again. Heather. So there are a lot of people that I've gotten to know through my community. But if I am just never have seen your name ever before and you pop up and be like, come park in my driveway, that's just not something I do. And partly just the introvert in me. And I know a lot of you say, I won't bother you, I'll just leave you alone. Well, no. I can't just sit in your driveway and not visit. You know what I mean? And so that it's just not something I do. Every once in a while, I might decide to do a meet and greet so that we can all get together in a public place with everybody in the area. And I never know when I'm going to be in the mood to do one of those. So just keep watching and I'll let you know. There might be one in your area. You never know. And the next question is, where is my home base? How do I deal with DMV? How do I deal with medical? A lot of these, every single one of these questions I have covered in at least 15 videos. I have done multiple videos on all of these subjects, but they're old videos. I guess people don't like to search. They don't know how to search. I'm going to put a link below for a video I made to teach you how to search. So you can just search my channel and all these questions can be right at your fingertips. But my home base is in Nevada. I did a video about how I became a Nevada resident and I'll put that link below. I come out west every year. I spend several months in Nevada because it's my home base. And if I have to go to the doctors, I take care of it in Nevada. But I haven't been to the doctor since the year I got her, when the first time I think I had COVID. And I don't go to the doctors a lot. I don't get sick. Other than COVID twice on the road and valley fever, have you ever seen me sick other than my migraines? I don't get sick. I don't, probably because I'm not around people. I don't get sick. And I'm in pretty good health. I don't have any health issues. None. Like none, really. I don't have diabetes. I don't have high blood pressure. My cholesterol is a little high, which is weird considering I don't eat animal products. But I'm pretty healthy. However, I did make some appointments because I literally have not had like a physical in 6 or 7 years. I went to the doctors before because of my symptoms. So, there's routine stuff I need to get taken care of. So I do have appointments for that stuff. So that's what I do. I come back to my home base. So if you are going to be living on the road and you are looking for a domicile state, don't choose Nevada if you never come west of the Mississippi. Don't choose North Dakota if you never go east of the Mississippi, just because it's easy, because you are going to have to take care of business there. And at the time that I made Nevada my domicile state, I was pretty much still anchored in the West. Now I'm going back east every year, so things are a little bit different for me. And I have thought about maybe changing my domicile state. But with that said, my driver's license is coming up for renewal, so I'm probably going to have to be here for that. But my registration every year, I just have to do it online and pay online, and they send me a new sticker. My mail is also handled through Nevada. I have a mail forwarder here. And again, all that information is in a video. I'll link the video below so that you can check all that out for yourself, because I keep getting asked this question. I'm going to go ahead and redo all of these questions and update them for 2025 because I keep getting the same questions over and over again. I guess nobody likes to search anymore. So, YouTube certainly isn't, their algorithm isn't picking up my older videos. So I'm going to go ahead and redo a lot of these videos. But that's the question about my home base. The next question I get asked a lot is, am I writing a cookbook and a memoir? And the answer to both of those questions is yes. The cookbook, my assistant, wonderful, love her. She's amazing. She does amazing work for me. She is making it a little more complex than I had originally thought it would be. I was like, grandma's old. not fancy cookbook. But since it's going on Amazon for the general public, she's working, we're working on a really nice design. We're working on pictures. I'm perfecting a lot of the recipes. I don't measure anything. And if I'm going to put it in a cookbook and people are going to buy it, I need to make sure these recipes work. So I'm fine tuning, because even when I make my protein pancakes, one day they're great, the next day they suck. So I'm trying to write things down and stick to a recipe when I cook them, so that when you all make them at home, they turn out like you would expect them to be edible at least. So that's a lot of work. And yeah, she only works like 3 or 4 hours a week for me. So we only have a limited amount of time for her to do stuff for me. I mean, if I could afford to pay her more and give more hours, I would. But she has a limited number of hours that she works for me. I have a limited number of hours between 2 channels now. And what we counted on a live stream, I have at least 10 different streams of income. So that all takes a lot of work. And things like a cookbook, which is taking a lot more time and a lot more work than I expected, those projects are, when I can get to them. And my memoir, I have not been able to write. I wrote right after my ex-husband passed. I was inspired for some reason, to write. I had been stuck on his chapters, and I sat down and I just wrote that out right after he passed, and haven't really been able to look at it since. I want to start getting back to writing in general, partly because I'm a woman in a very strange time in American history. I have a lot to say. I have a strong voice. There's a lot. And so I would like to just start almost like journaling for history, this part of American history. But yes, I'm still working on both. And don't worry, you guys know I'm selling calendars, right? When I am ready to put the cookbook and the memoir, I'm hoping to get a publisher for the memoir. I have taken classes. You pay for classes through like Writer's Digest, and you get an agent to review your first 10 pages. I've done that, which was really helpful feedback. So a couple of these classes that I've taken through Writer's Digest have really helped me think about my book and the format. And my first 10 pages that I submitted to that agent in that class, I decided from her feedback, aren't the first 10 pages of my book. So I need to come up with a different strategy for the opening of my book. So there's a lot to writing a book. There's a lot to it, especially when I'm 57 years old and I'm writing my life story. There's a lot to tell. But don't worry, just like my calendars, when they are ready to be sold, you will know about it. You're not going to miss it. I'm very good at promoting my stuff. Speaking of which, I think we have about 10 calendars left. So if you haven't gotten your 2025 RV Life calendar yet, be sure to click the QR code here, or the link, or scan the QR code. Click the link in the video description below. It's just $21.99 for shipping in the United States, $25.99 for international shipping, and we do have them on hand, so she's shipping them out pretty much the day after you order them. If you ordered already and you haven't gotten it, U.S. mail is extremely slow right now in some parts of the country. If you ordered before December 18th, they were mailed on December 18th. If you ordered after that, they pretty much were mailed within a few days of your order. So we did not begin shipping until December 18th. That's the whole pre-sale. You buy them before they're for sale, before they're printed, and then we print them, and then we put them in envelopes, and then we mail them to you. So be patient. Getting a lot of emails, and then they're coming the next day. So please be patient. It's the mail. Mail is really slow right now. But anyway, yes, I am working on both a cookbook and a memoir, and just like the calendars, you're going to know about it. The next question you guys keep asking me is, am I going to the RTR, the WRTR? Am I going to Quartzsite? I have done Facebook posts. I think I did a post on the community tab here on YouTube. I think I've put posts other places. I don't know. Follow me. Make sure you look at the community tab. Follow me on Facebook. I'll put a link below. If you're not on Facebook, I do a lot of updates and announcements and that type stuff there. I am not going to the RTR this year. I am not going to Quartzsite this year. And then the next question is, why? Did something happen? I mean, like, everybody wants like a drama. Like, there's no reason, I just don't want to. I mean, I don't go to Quartzsite every year. So I don't know why this is such a surprise to people. And everybody's looking for like some big dramatic reason. Did something happen? Oh my God, what happened? Why aren't you going? I don't go every year. I went last year. Partly because we were going to Baja and it was close by, so it made sense. And there were a couple events I wanted to go to in Quartzsite last year. And then I had an opportunity also with a sponsor. The year before, I didn't really do Quartzsite. I was in the area, but I didn't really do Quartzsite. I don't go to Quartzsite every year. And there is no big secret drama. I mean, do you want me to make something up? Let me see. I'm not going because, okay, here we go. Because last year I fell in love and I had this wild affair last year. Wild, steamy, hot affair. And it didn't work out. And I was heartbroken. And that's why I went to Baja. I went to Baja to mend my broken heart because this person broke my heart. I was devastated. And I can't ever show my face in Quartzsite again because the heartbreak, it's just too much. I just can't. No, but seriously. There's no drama. There's no story. I just don't want to go. All right, and the next question is, do I have a drone? And if so, why don't I use it to scout my camping spots? Yes, I have a drone. I can't fly it for video because I am not allowed to do so without a license. I have to get basically a pilot's license, kind of like the beginning stages of being certified to be a pilot. I actually bought a class, I think on some class, Udemy, whatever. I bought a class, so I started taking the class. It's the driest, most boring stuff you can possibly imagine, and maybe someday I'll get back to it. And then I have to go and take the test, and then I have to get a permit or a license, and then I got to re-up it every year. I honestly don't know if it's worth it. So I do have a drone. I gave my DJI away. I had the DJI drone, and I have that smaller one, Hover Air, now. But yeah, so I do have a drone. I can't fly it. If I fly it for personal use, it's fine. As soon as I put that video on YouTube, because it's considered commercial, then I am breaking the law. Same stupid law as the national park one, which basically just got overturned, that as long I can push the button, as long as I'm not using it for commercial use, I'm fine. As soon as I put it up on YouTube, I am breaking the law. So that's why I don't use drone footage in my videos, because I have to follow that law because it's pretty easy to get caught. I don't really want to pay $10,000 penalties. And why don't I use it to scout spots? Because that's a pain in the ass. I mean, it's stored up in there. I have to make sure the batteries are charged. And then I have to... It's kind of hard to see on your phone screen, so you got to fly it. It's a pain in the ass. No, and you don't get that great of a view. Sure, you can see the road, and I guess depending on how low you fly it, but I'm not that great of a flyer. I would rather walk. Every time I do something, everybody wants to tell me how to do it better. Well, you know what? I've been living my life for 57 years. I've been living in an RV for almost 9. I've tried every way possible to do things, and I do things that work best for me. I would rather walk a road. So here's my process. I drive a road if it looks drivable, as far as I can drive. And then when it starts to look like, I don't know, then I get out and walk it to see if I can drive further. And if I walk a half a mile, it's like, okay, it still looks good. I'm going to keep driving it. And I never drive further than I can back up. That I did a shot recently. I posted it on social media and everybody was like, why don't you? You shouldn't have. And I'm like, I posted the picture because it's pretty. And I told the story to make it more interesting. But everybody thought I was stuck. And what I did is I drove my RV down the road as far as I was comfortable backing up. And then I determined that it wasn't worth trying to go forward on the road because I didn't want to risk getting stuck. So I backed up. I've backed up, I think recently, a mile on a sandy road in the desert when I first got to Colorado. A mile on a 2-track. You know, a 2-track. It's just tire marks. Of course, Sadie's eating. Tire tracks and brush in the middle of it and brush on both sides, creosote and everything. It was sandy, it was windy, and I literally backed up a mile because I kept going thinking there's got to be a place to turn around. But it was sandy and I didn't want to risk. There were a couple spots I could have tried, but the sand was pretty soft and I didn't want to risk getting stuck. And that brings me to the next question you guys keep asking me. How much does my RV weigh? The short answer is, I don't know. I have never officially gotten it weighed. I feel like I have gone through a scale, maybe at the dump or something, and it was like 12,000 or something like that. My gross recommended weight is 14,050. I don't think I'm overweight. I'm only one passenger for one thing. And I don't know. I'll weigh it. How's that? You know what? You all are dying to know. This question, it's just amazing how curious people are about my weight. And I think it's because when I got stuck in Baja, a lot of you assumed I got stuck so bad because my RV was overweight. But it's kind of silly if you think about it. Whether my RV weighs 12,000, which is below weight, or 16,000, which is overweight, that doesn't matter. I was in a sinkhole. My RV was going to sink in that sinkhole, whether it weighed 12,000 pounds or whether it weighed 14,000 pounds. I showed you the footage after I got stuck. There was 3 feet of soft sand and it was still soft. It had nothing to do with the weight of my vehicle. We all walked around that area before I tried to park there, before I almost permanently parked there. We all walked around. We felt the ground. It all felt solid. I happened to just back up into it was a sinkhole. You saw it on the video. The first time we tried to get me out, Sarah and Aaron were there to try to help me get out. The first time, if it wasn't a sinkhole, I would have gotten out. But what happened is when I came forward on the blocks, I sunk further. It was a sinkhole. The weight of my RV had nothing to do with it. Nothing. But you know what? I'm going to do a video. I'm going to go through certified weight the next time I see one. A cat, what are they called? Cat weighers or whatever. Cat scales. That's what they're called. Cat weighers. I like cat weighers. And I'm going to make a video. And you all better watch it. So, yeah, I don't know how much my RV weighs. But I'm pretty sure it's not overweight. But, hey, you want to take any bets? Stay tuned for that video. And the 9th question that I keep getting asked over and over again in 2024 is... This question isn't just 2024, it's every day. Aren't you afraid of snakes, bears, mountain lions, ticks, getting stuck, getting hurt, breaking a leg, Sadie getting bitten, getting lost, getting old? Aren't you afraid of fill in the blank with everything that you are all afraid of? Every day. Aren't you afraid of? And again, I've done videos ad nauseum on every single one of these topics. Aren't you afraid of? No. Aren't you afraid of fill in the blank? No, I'm not. I'm not afraid of bears. I'm not afraid of mountain lions. I'm not afraid of snakes or ticks. I take precautions so that we can stay as safe as possible and prevent injury or worse from any of those things. Coyotes are probably the biggest concern, just because especially in the desert and even not in the desert, they're probably the most prominent, and they're the ones that if she sees, she's going to think it's a dog and she's going to chase it. She chased a coyote when she wasn't even a year old yet. When I first got her and we went back to Pahrump, another year I didn't go to quartzsite. She was, 6 months old, 7 months old, and we're wandering around in the desert, and she's not fully trained yet, but the reason she is as good as she is because I gave her freedom. She's amazing now. And she chased a coyote. Back then, I had a tracker on her neck so that I could follow her on my phone if you have a cell signal. And I literally watched her chase the coyote. Yeah, you know what? And we were probably pretty lucky that the coyote just ran and didn't lead her into a pack, because that's what they do. But I watched her run, and I'm screaming bloody murder. She wasn't trained yet. And she ran and ran and ran and ran, and I'm screaming bloody murder, and she's not listening. She's just on the chase. And I literally saw on the tracker on my phone, she went like a half a mile out of sight. I couldn't see her anymore. And I saw her on the tracker. She went a half a mile and turned around and came back. And I'm still concerned mostly about coyotes. When we're out walking, I'm constantly scanning around us. I'm making noise. We have not run into, well, that's not true. We have run into a couple coyotes. We ran into one in Colorado a couple years ago. I saw it. She went after it, and I called her back, and she came. We have not seen, well, we did see some bears. We saw some bear cubs in Colorado. So Mama must have been nearby, but she didn't bother us. The thing is, I can't say this enough. Everything you are afraid of because you don't have enough experience. Experience takes that fear away. You take as many precautions as you can. She's on Simparica Trio for ticks. Last year I got her the Lyme vaccine. I'm still trying to decide if I want to do that again this year. Kind of doesn't seem to make sense. But she got the Lyme vaccine last year. She's on Simparica Trio. When we are in tick territory, she gets tick checks every day. I brush her down before she comes inside because I don't like finding them crawling on me in the middle of the night, laying here watching TV, finding ticks crawling on me. So we're very, very careful about brushing her down. Last year was the most diligent I've ever been. Brush her down, look in her ears, under her arms, and just make sure she doesn't bring any inside. And as far as being afraid of, aren't you afraid of getting stuck in the middle of nowhere? Aren't you afraid you're going to break a leg? I could sit home because I'm afraid of everything, or I can just live, and when something happens, I can figure it out. Getting over your fears is having enough faith in yourself. How comfortable are you in knowing that no matter what the universe throws at you, you're going to be able to problem solve your way out of it? If I break a leg on a trail out in the middle of nowhere, I often don't have my cell phone with me. I try to remember to take my cell phone. I don't know, honestly. I'm just not going to break my leg. That's how I look at it. I have hiked and backpacked thousands of miles alone. The fact is, being alone, and any of you solo hikers can attest to this, you're more careful alone than you are with other people. Sure, if I'm with someone else and we're talking and I don't see a branch and I trip over it and break my leg, that other person can get help. But being alone, I'm more careful. I'm not going to trip over that branch. Of course, shit's going to happen. If shit's going to happen, it's going to happen. I'll figure it out. I'm not going to sit around worrying about it. I'd rather go out and live my life. And I know that's not for everybody. There's like two different types of people. People who let their fear hold them back because they have to have every single thing planned out and they have to understand everything. Or maybe there's more than two. There's probably people in the middle. I'm on the other side of it. I have been through hell and back in my life. I have been through some shit that I should not have lived through more than once. I literally probably should not be alive today. So when people are like, aren't you afraid of a tick? Aren't you afraid of getting lost? Aren't you afraid of hurting yourself? Oh, and I'm like, oh girl, if you only knew, I have been through some shit that would make your skin crawl. You'd be clutching your pearls. So there's a meme, when you've walked through fire, you're not afraid of a little flame or something like that. I've walked through fire, so I'm not afraid of little flames. So no, I'm not afraid. You're afraid. That's why you keep asking me. And that might be something worth taking a look at. How can you get over your fear so that you can live your life? All right, and finally, the most asked question lately, the last few years, and 2024 was no different, is a lot of nomads are buying land. Are you looking for land? And no, I'm not looking for land. Not actively. I am on some lists for land in different parts of the country that I have thought might be interesting to look at. And so kind of passively, if an email comes up and, 100 acres for $1,000, that's what I'm looking for. then I might, ooh, okay, what's that? Of course, that never happens, but I am not ready to settle down right now. So I very much still enjoy my nomad life, even though I complain about it. It's getting harder. There's more and more people out here. I have some videos coming up, some travel videos where I talk about how different this is than it used to be. And I think you might be surprised by some of the revelations that I have been having, but those are coming in future videos, travel videos. I do have a couple lined up for you in the next few weeks, so make sure you're subscribed to my channel, hit the thumbs up on this video, leave a comment, leave a like, share the video. It all helps keep this channel going and helps keep YouTube a full-time job for me. So those are the top 10 questions you all have been asking me in 2024. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot more in 2025. So I will see you next year. I hope you have a good New Year's and be safe and be happy and be free and be kind. I'll see you soon.